Oh, so can I share this? I can't share it to... I'm gonna wait for some people to get on before I go into this. And it won't let me share it to TikTok for some reason. See, like, people coming on and coming off, but there's only two, and it don't show me who it is, so it's like, I don't know if my sister or my aunt or my mama, and I don't know how to tell who it is. And I'm gonna explain why it makes me so nervous whenever my mom's husband just pops up and I'm here by myself with my two kids, my 3-year-old and 4-year-old. It makes me uncomfortable. But like, when my mom went missing, he never posted about her on Facebook. He didn't hand out missing persons flyers with us. And he left 2 weeks after her disappearance. He moved to Alabama, cut all ties with all of us. So I don't know, just the way things happen. It's like, I don't know what to think. I don't know if he had part of it, if he was in it, if he, was in on it or not. And a lot of my family is the same way. They feel the same way. It's nerve-wracking. I'm trying to wait for more people to get on here. I just made a TikTok video letting them know I was live because I was supposed to do it earlier, and then he popped up, so... And really, this case should be bigger than what it is because supposedly there's 3 people missing. My mom, a guy named William Inkelbarger, Let me see, I got the things right here. Inkelbarger, and then a lady named Brenda Carroll, which, in my opinion, I don't feel like she's missing. If anything, I feel like she might have set my mom up or something, and she's just in hiding. I don't know why I feel that way, but it is what it is. I think my computer's about to pop out. I wish more people would get on here, though. It's kind of excited and nervous at the same time to do this. Can y'all hear me? Like, can y'all hear me good? Let me see. I don't know how to do this. I don't. Well, we got 8 people. How y'all doing? This is so new for me, I swear, because I've never went live before, for one. And for 2, I don't talk about my mom. It's a hard subject for me to talk about. Not even to my own family. I don't like talking to her. My cousin, like a few days ago, sent me a video of my mom dancing, and it just... I can't watch it. It's like a hard thing to talk about. But like I said, so see, like, how can I? Hi, Casey. I don't know how to like chat back to y'all. I guess I just have to talk to y'all. But so I had heard from my mom. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with it. Okay, so I had heard from my mom like 2 weeks, and me and her video chatted every single day. And I called my granny and I asked my granny if she had talked to her, and she said no, she hadn't talked to her. And I said, okay, well, we need to go look for her. And I think a lot of people thought maybe I was just over exaggerating, but I knew, you know how when you just have that feeling like you know. Well, I knew there was something wrong, so we went looking for her. We couldn't find her, and we go to these apartments that we like knew that she had been staying at, and there's a freaking net. And I've never heard of that. I've never heard of Waverly, Tennessee. But so we go to those apartments, and they say that they don't know who she is. So then this guy and this girl start walking up, and I asked them like, "Hey, do y'all know Bonnie?" And they're like, "No, we don't know Bonnie." Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, and yeah, you're right. It doesn't. And the guy was like, "No, we don't know Bonnie." And I said, "Okay, well, do you know a guy named Swamp?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm Swamp." So I'm like, "Okay, you know my mom then because you're the last person she was with whenever I talked to you." And he was like, "Oh, you mean Pocahontas?" And I was like, "Yeah, because that's what they called her because she like Indian and had dark skin." Well, you can see right here, like she had pretty dark skin. And he said, "Yeah, but he didn't know where she was." So we end up, we're driving up down Rutledge Pike and Magnolia Avenue, and we're looking for her. We can't find her. We go file a missing persons report, and God, we go to Knoxville Police Department, and this cop told me she doesn't want to be found. She's just out getting high. And we know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know better with your family. You know better than that. So I knew better. So I knew he was wrong. Now, my mom's husband did come and file the report with us. So we start searching for her car, and we find it. We find it on Broadway behind some restaurants. Now, any time I watch true crime, and this and that is about to get on my nerves. Anytime that I watch true crime, they would get like video footage, and they would look and see, who was driving that car or whatever. They didn't do none of that. They like seriously did not look for her. We looked for her, but they didn't look for her. So we find her. Well, her husband finds her car. Okay, and the seat is pushed back, so we know she wasn't driving because she wouldn't have been able to reach the pedals unless she was like sitting all the way up. And she didn't drive like that. All her stuff was in there: her purse, her ID, her hygiene stuff, all her clothes. So we call the investigators, and we tell the investigators, and they say that we could take it. Like, they didn't even come and get it. Usually they would get fingerprints, and they would check for blood and have cadaver dogs. None of that happened. They did not do none of that. So we get the car towed to my Aunt Rachel's house, which is my mom's sister. And like 4 months later, I believe it was my mom went missing in December of 2017. In April, they decide to come and get the car. Still to this day, like 4.5 years later, we still don't have the car. But we still have no leads. There's no evidence. So my Aunt Rachel, I'm not kidding y'all, I have this entire packet. This is all emails between my Aunt Rachel and the detective, and like different stuff that we had been hearing on the street. So we would report it to them, and supposedly they were looking into it. But I don't believe they was, because like I said, we find her car. Why wouldn't you go and get video footage from all these restaurants and stores that are around where her car is? Okay, then you don't take the car for fingerprints or nothing. So, I mean, that kind of right there just told us like he wasn't looking for her. So then all these leads are coming in. Supposedly, she had like $10,000 worth of counterfeit money and gave it to the wrong person, and they killed her. And then that she was messing with somebody in the MS-13, and they done it, and that she was in a barrel in a storage unit off Lower Road, and like there was a fence around it, and it had a hole in the fence, and we went looking for this. We didn't find it. Then there was rumors of her being trafficked. And then all of a sudden they have a person of interest. They arrest this guy, Jeremy Jerome Hardison. He goes by Big Country on the street. I had never heard of this guy. I talked to my mom every day. Like, that woman was my best friend, okay? And I had never heard this name. But he had already had a manslaughter charge back in like 2008, like 2008 or something like that. And then he was in jail for shooting somebody in the back with an AR-15, and he got a life sentence for that. So then all of a sudden, he becomes the person of interest in my mom's case. I don't believe that for a second. I think they're trying to say that because he's not a suspect. He's just a person of interest, and he's been a person of interest for the last year. I don't believe that for a fucking second. I don't believe he had anything to do with it. I don't know why, but I don't. Like, there's just no part of me, no ounce of me that feels like he had anything to do with it. And I was going to ride him. I know what prison he's at. He's in Templetonville, Tennessee prison. So I was going to ride him, which probably wouldn't do me no good, even if he did do it. It wouldn't do me no good. He's not like he's going to ride me back. But, so, for the video that I just made about the remains being found in South Holston Lake. And that's why everybody kept saying, oh, it was a man, it was a man. To me, it doesn't matter if it's a man or if it's a woman, because there's supposedly a man that's missing with my mom. Now, she had used his phone to call my granny, so it is possible. And even if the third person, Brenda, even if she is missing with them, how in the hell do 3 people go missing without a trace? Not a single shred of evidence to find them. Someone please explain that to me. How does that happen? Anyways, and supposedly there was a rumor that she had been dropped off at Holston Park on an access road, and she was wrapped up in a blanket and thrown down into this little ditch. I never seen a Holston Park. That's why when this popped up, and I had just said something about my mom, and then this pops up that there was remains found at South Holston River, and it was by Johnson City, which is where my mom's boyfriend was living whenever he was supposedly, so he was living in Johnson City. He was going to college. He was supposed to come and see her, and supposedly she didn't answer the phone when he got to Knoxville. Let me tell you something. My mom was sickly obsessed with her husband. I mean, she was obsessed with her husband. There's no fucking way she would not have gone with him. And they questioned him. But see, my thing is, you don't post about your wife on Facebook. You don't share nothing. You cut all of us off. You don't talk to none of us. And then all of a sudden, my dad dies of a fent OD in December of last year, like the December that just passed. Like 2 weeks before the mark of the 4th year that my mom had been missing. And all of a sudden, he shows up. He comes to my dad's funeral. He gets up there and he speaks. And he starts talking, but we felt like it wasn't like towards my dad, because, I mean, yeah, he knew my dad, but the way he was talking, it was more like he was talking to us about my mom. And just everybody broke down. But how do you... Your wife goes missing. You don't speak about her at all. You don't talk. And I know people cope differently, but for 4 years, I mean, bro, I don't know. I mean, does that not seem like guilt? Because to me it does. It's fucking gnats driving me insane. Because to me it does. And for Knox County to not do a single thing to find them, And then to tell us that it's too dangerous for us to do it. Like, they were telling us, like, no, you guys don't need to go searching for her. They didn't do a search for her. They, like, her car's here. Why not do a search in the woods that's right here behind it? No, they didn't do none of that. They didn't bring cadaver dogs. They didn't take her car for fingerprints. They didn't get video footage. And they swear all these emails, every single one of these on each page, my Aunt Rachel's asking for a damn update or sending in info that we found out on our own by investigating ourselves. And every time that fucking lawyer texts back, no updates. No updates. I'm sorry. No updates. I was working on a separate case, or I'll be back in the office the next Tuesday, but not this week. Like, they handled it in such a horrible way that I feel like we should be able to make some type of complaint or do something against these investigators, because I'm telling, like, if she would have been, even if she was just a teacher or something, they would have looked for her. They would have searched, but no, nothing, because she was an addict. She had just relapsed. She had just relapsed for like 2 weeks. She was in a halfway house. She relapsed. She was out there for like 2 weeks, and then boom, she went missing. And I know it's possible that she could be being trafficked. And, it's kind of, I know this is so wrong, because part of me is like, I hope that is what's happening, and she's just taking care of all the other girls there, because that's the kind of woman she was. She's just that loving woman, and anybody you ask that knows her will tell you she just has a beautiful soul. She loves everybody. She's kind. She just had her, she had her demons. She was fighting her demons. And I don't know, y'all. Thank y'all for listening anyways, because I don't talk about it. It's put me in a deep, dark place. Like a very dark place. I mean, it got to the point where I wouldn't even get off the couch. Literally, I would sit on the couch all day. And then I would try to sleep as long as possible, because I did not want to wake up. And so now I'm trying to get myself out of that and just vent about it and talk about it and try to find a private investigator that will take her case. Like, you know how there's these YouTubers that, like, AWP, which I talked to AWP, but since her car was found, they couldn't do nothing about it. But I know there has to be a private investigator out here that does YouTube and, like, takes cases for free. So if y'all know anybody like that, let me know, please, because I want my grandmother to have closure before her time comes. She's 74, and this has really brought my granny down. Like, my granny is a totally different person than she was before my mom went missing, and now she lets everybody run over her because she doesn't want something to happen to them, and her be telling them no, and it's just, we need to help y'all. And that's why whenever I posted that video and I got all them views, I was so happy, because now her story is out. Like, there had been, we had been on the news a couple times. It did nothing. And then there was somebody, like a podcast or something called Vanished. They done a story on it, but I couldn't find it on here. So I'm going to have to keep looking and try to find it so I can show it to y'all. But, let me see if it's in here. There was just, like, so many different, you know how people call in and they say all this different stuff. But she was a beautiful soul, man. She really was. If y'all got any questions, I'll answer them. Like, if y'all want to know more that I'm forgetting because my brain is going so fast right now, because I don't talk about her, and it's very difficult to talk about her. But I need to. I know I need to. It's time. And I was gonna, this is a lot of messages right here. Let me see if y'all can see this. Here's her poster. And I was pregnant. I had just found out I was pregnant whenever she went missing. And I told her about it. And then she went missing. So she don't know my 4-year-old. And she doesn't know my 3-year-old, which is my first girl. And I named her after my mom's my mom's middle name is Lou, so I named my daughter Luciana. Yeah, he came, and that's why it was so weird because I was here by myself, and it makes me nervous because it's like I hate to think that he would do something like this, but then just the way things don't add up. But yeah, he came, and because he said he wanted to see my two little kids that he had never met, and then he wanted to see my brother and my mama and my sister. But it's just, and what's crazy is he had just came back from seeing my 14-year-old son. So he showed me a picture of that, and it's just, how do you go 4 years with not talking to none of us, and then you pop up at my dad's funeral, and yeah, see, no. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh shit, like he must have seen my TikTok or something. But I don't think he did. He didn't mention it, so I don't think he did. But I still don't like to be around him by myself. It makes me uncomfortable because I mean he's a big dude, and then he also had a friend with him who was a big dude. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it makes me uncomfortable. That's why I made the YouTube video. Like, look, he's here. Something happens to me. Y'all know he was here. Somebody knows he was here. It's on my phone. And I even called my little sister and told her, like, look, are you in Oak Ridge? Because I need you to come over here. But she wasn't. She was in Clinton. But he left within like 3 minutes because he said that he thought my mama and my brother and sister were here. So he's supposed to come back tomorrow when everybody's here. And then I guess we'll find out what he's wanting. Because he's obviously here for a reason. And he said that he left to better himself. Their relationship was surrounded by, they're addicts. Let me put it that way. There's certain words I can't say on here, and I don't know what they are, but they were addicts together. They were clean together too, and when they were clean together, they had a great life. And he has put his hands on her before. Like he's swelled up her whole face, and that's why some people think like it's possible that he'd done it. Plus, he has mental issues. And he was in the army, and he gets a check for being crazy of some sorts. I don't want to say that in like a horrible way, but yeah, he gets a check for it. So, but see, what's crazy is he's a felon in everything, and he went to when he went to Alabama and got his college degree and all that. Like he's a big name in Alabama. He played in the movie Lottery Ticket. I can't remember what scene it was, but if you look at him, you wouldn't think like nothing bad about him. And it's just, it blows my mind. But the relationship wasn't all that good. I mean, my mom loved him, but when when it's two addicts trying to be together and your life is surrounded by that, it's just not going to work. But all of a sudden, he works for the DA's office in Alabama, and he's a felon. He's plenty of time. I don't understand that. Like my mom goes missing, and and there was even a rumor that my mom was in a storage unit in Alabama, and my brother went down there, called the cops to the storage unit and everything, and they wanted to bring cadaver dogs out, but they ended up not doing it. I don't know why, but yeah, they did question him. Well, supposedly, my mama said they questioned him. I don't remember them questioning him. And what's crazy is, usually when something like this happens, most of the time, it's somebody close to you that does it. They didn't question none of us. Not a single one of us. No, he has not been active at all. Nothing. Like 2 weeks after we found her car, or 2 weeks after we filed the missing persons report, he was gone. He was just up and moved to Alabama. He makes himself look guilty, but I would hate to think that he done that, and I think that's my problem. Like, I gotta stop being like that. I like to see the best in everybody, and it's just... See? Okay, so I'm glad y'all are saying that, because I feel so uncomfortable, because I'm like, maybe I'm overreacting, or I'm overthinking this because it's my mom. But it's weird. He didn't help us. We went to Chattanooga and everything, handing out flyers. He didn't do none of it. He gets like a $4,000 check a month. He could have hired a private investigator. No, he didn't. He didn't call us for any updates. If anything, he got updates because somebody was calling him to tell him. And then that ended very quickly. yeah, he's connected somehow, and like so he lived in Knoxville. He lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee, and then Selma, Alabama. And if I had, let me see if I could show y'all this, what he looks like. His name's Temperate Drain, and shit, it's just weird, man. Can y'all? Where's my camera? That's who he is. And they questioned him one time. Let me see if I can find. They questioned him one time, and that was it. I think I'm going the wrong way. And he, like I said, he's a big dude. Like, because my thing is, which one? I don't know which one he's in that one. That's him right there. I know my light's in the way, but they questioned him one time and that was it. And then it's like they supposedly. Yes, I definitely agree, Stephanie. And that's really what I'm hoping for. Like, y'all don't understand, man. I have been trying to get her story out for so long. I've made videos after videos. I've handed out flyers. I went to Knoxville and handed out flyers and food for the homeless at the same time. Well, it was me and my brother who done that. And then it's like, I feel like us as a family, as being her family, have not done enough because we don't know what to do. We don't know where to start. Like, we have nowhere to go, and the cops are the ones who could have got the video footage, who could have got fingerprints. And it's just, I just wonder if there's a way for us to get them for basically not looking for her because they were judging her. And I don't think that should be allowed. I think that should be some type of, that should be against the law somehow. And man. But I've been trying to get her story out for so long. That's what, like I said, that's why whenever I seen all the views on that video, I was like, yes, like, okay, her story's getting out. More people have seen it now than ever. What the hell? And that makes me feel better. But at the same time, I hope it keeps getting that same attention. And I hope a private investigator will take this case, or anybody that does missing persons cases will take this case. Because we don't have the money to do it. Thank you, Casey. So I'm just going to keep, even like I was posting videos and only get like 2 or 3 views, but I had to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it because I don't know no other way to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I said the same thing. I didn't know why that just popped up. I guess they can just get on here and do that. Okay, so I don't think she had life insurance. If she did, we knew nothing about it. Sorry, I'm trying to read your questions. And no, they're still married. But see, even when they were together, he would always hire prostitutes and just disgusting stuff. So I'm sure he's moved on. But if he's got a whole girlfriend, then we don't know about it. He's keeping it a secret, and he probably will keep it a secret from us as long as possible. But I'm not going to stop until I figure out what happened to her. I'm not going to go 20, 30 years without knowing what happened to her. If I have to keep doing these channels little by little to get her story out and to start getting help from somebody out there. I know there's somebody out there that does these kind of cases that could help me. And so until I find them, I will keep doing this. I'll keep going and handing out flyers. I'll keep sharing her poster all over, different platforms. Because it really has drove our family into like such a distant and, for me, deep dark depression, and along with my grandmother, because we were the two closest ones to her, me, my siblings, and my grandmother. And well, and her sister, it's messed up. It's messed with her sister too. But I don't know. She's missed out on so much, and it's just. That's my thing. They don't give her no attention at all. That from the jump, they said that she was not missing. So right then, we knew that they was not going to look for her. But that shouldn't be allowed to happen. So if I have to find a way to talk to the damn governor or whoever the hell I need to talk to get them to look at this case, because it's still an open case, but they're just not doing nothing to do it. But there has to be a way to contact the governor or whoever I need to contact. I'll look it up and figure it out and see how come her stuff should just be pushed to the side. But yet, if it was somebody else that wasn't an addict, they're going to be found. And they're going to still be searched for. And they're going to send cadaver dogs. And they're going to send divers down. Somebody said that she was in the bottom of the lake over by UT campus. My whole family and some of my mom's friends went over there looking. We don't have diving gear. Y'all have that. But no, they don't want to send nobody down. They don't do shit. They didn't do nothing. Like, I have such a grudge towards Knox County that it's ridiculous, because this should not be allowed. It's so wrong how they done her. Because when she was an addict, and actually she was a functional addict. She worked and everything. But when she was clean, everybody loved that woman. That woman, I mean, she had a beautiful soul. Anybody that met her loved her. She was a hard worker. She was a good mom. She was a good nana. And she deserves the same attention as anyone else. Just because it was known that she was an addict doesn't mean the next person is better than her. It's not right. It's not. And that goes for anybody missing that's an addict and not being looked for. Addicts are treated so different than everyone else, and they shouldn't be, because they say it is a mental, or what do they say? It is a mental disease. Yes, Nancy, yes. It was around the same exact time, yeah. It was like a couple days later that we ended up finding out that he was supposed to be coming to get her, and she didn't answer the phone, which that wouldn't happen. She was obsessed with him. She would always beg him to come down to see her, and he was doing her very dirty because he was clean at the time and going to college, and she was battling addiction, and he didn't want to put himself, and I understand that, but don't drag, you know what I'm saying? Don't drag her along. Y'all were supposed to be going and picking her up and taking her back to Alabama to go to a rehab. But no, that didn't happen because he never seen her. So it's so suspect. I mean, it really is. And then there's that other part of me that's like, he would never do that to her. But anybody's capable of anything. I mean, I can't keep thinking that way because it's gonna get me nowhere. I literally look at everybody as a suspect until I know that they're not. Yeah, no, I'm sure he will because he just done that with my 14-year-old. So my 14-year-old, he's like a huge football player out here. Supposedly, Tim heard his name in Alabama. And then all of a sudden he popped up and he wanted to be in my son's life. And my son was like, no, do not call yourself Papa because my dad just died. His real Papa, he just died. So you're going to come in, you're going to call yourself Papa. So my son, I mean, he shut down. He didn't go to football practice. He didn't go to school, nothing. Like, he was just done. He was like, no, I'm not about to deal with this. And I feel like he also has some type of feeling about him because of my mom. And, my son, he's 14, so he he knows my mom. Like, my mom loved him. That was her baby. And so, he gave him money. He sent him money. He was just over there. That's where he came from. And he showed me a picture of him and my son to show me how much taller my son was than him. Because my son, he's 14, but he's like 6'3" or something. He's just so damn tall. And he plays, like I said, he plays football. Great football player. Everybody wants him. So all of a sudden, he wants to be in his life because he's about to go somewhere with his football career. Like, what? Where was you the 4 years that we needed you for my mom, who has been missing this whole time? Your wife. Now you want to come in because my son's about to take off in his football career. Like, come on, man. And then it's like people wonder why he looks bad. It doesn't make no sense. How do you do that? How do you just up and leave knowing your stepkids and are about to go through this because your wife is missing? How? Do you just up and leave and then you come back whenever your stepkid's father dies and get up there and speak, but really be speaking from the heart about my mom and not my dad? And we all knew it. My Aunt Leah, she was so mad she had to walk out because she was about to go crazy on his ass. That's how serious it was. Like, and because she really believes that he done it. But the thing is, like, how does if they are all three missing together, how does somebody get rid of 3 bodies that fast? Like, I don't understand it. They have to be somewhere close. There's no way he could have done something to get rid of them completely. They have to be somewhere, but nobody wants to look. The police they're addicts, so good, they're gone. That's how they look at it. Sorry, y'all, I got worked up. Casey, I'm sorry to hear that because it's not easy at all. So I hope you find her because it's hard. It is so hard to go on with your daily life every single day. It really is. You can't even watch a freaking video of her dancing because it just breaks your heart. Y'all could be right. Y'all could be right. Which I don't live alone. Like, I have a boyfriend who I've been with for like almost 11 years now. And then my brother's been staying with me. But so my brother works from like 5 to 6 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6, or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then my boyfriend works 2:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. So I'm usually here by myself with my 2 kids. And it's nerve-wracking because I don't know what happened. And I don't want this, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go through the same thing. I keep my doors locked at all times, but I mean, he's got a friend with him. It's not like they, you know what I mean? If they wanted to, they can. Or maybe he just wants to know, like, what are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about on your TikToks? Or, you know, why are you bringing this stuff back up? Because whenever he came here, like, y'all see my shirt. Whenever he came, he stared so hard at it. And then, like, where we were standing in my living room, like, right above me, I have a collage that are nothing but pictures of me and my mom. And he just kept staring at that. He would stare at that, stare at my shirt, stare at that, stare at my shirt. And it's just like, you don't even have nothing to say about her. You don't speak about her at all. You don't mention her anytime we see you. If we tell you something, if we was to tell you an update, oh, for real? Well, keep me posted. Like, what? Dude, that is your fucking wife. My stepdad, the dude that, my little brother's sister's dad, who was with my mom for like 10 years, he cares more about this than her husband does. He has pictures of her posted everywhere. If he starts to talk about her, he will break down and go to his knees crying. You're her husband. And you don't even say a thing. And like I said, I know people cope different because I'm the type, I don't talk about nothing. I hold everything inside. And it has, like I said, it has put me in the worst spot possible. And that's why I started doing YouTube and started doing TikTok, because I've got to vent. I got to get it off my chest because it's starting to make me go crazy. So I told my sister, my boyfriend, everybody, like, I'm about to just start doing YouTube channels. And I'm going to do stories about kind of the same thing. But it's very difficult. Like, for real, it is so difficult. Especially whenever, like, you start feeling like you gave up on her because it's been 5 years and you still ain't found her. There's nothing you can do because you don't know where to start. It was Selma, Alabama. It was put at some apartment buildings behind Hardee's on Broadway in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, and it was parked there, and then somebody left because somebody in that building said that car had been there for a few days and they didn't know who it belonged to. So they just drove it there, parked it there, didn't think nobody was going to find it. Guess who found it? Her husband. We have been searching for that car for, like, I couldn't tell you how long, and all of a sudden it gets found. And then the investigator don't even want to come and get it. The seat was as far back as it could go. My mom was like 5'6", 5'7", and when she drove like, I don't know, like kind of linked to the side. And the way that the seat was all the way back, the back part was pushed all the way back. There was no way she could have reached that pedal. And plus, her ID, her wallet, and just everything that she carries everywhere she goes was with her. And then she had all her clothes, all her hygiene, everything was in that car. Nothing was took out of that car. She would not have left her purse in that car. Like, the way Knox County handled this case, and I'm sure there's probably millions others like this, and it's something needs to be done about it. Around the whole United States, something needs to be done about it. I'm gonna start a damn protest because it's wrong. They should not treat addicts no different. They should be treated just the same as anybody else. Just because they're fighting demons and they're struggling. His name is Temperate Drain. Tim. Well, let me know whenever you're ready and I'll spell it out for you because it's not letting me type in this for some reason. It's TIMFR EIT, and his last name is Drain, DRANE. So I'm gonna let one out. People were just calling in and like, yeah, that's right, Casey. People were just calling in and giving all this random info, like she was here and she was there, and just different. That's how we heard about the Holston Lake thing. And then my aunt that lives up in Michigan and my aunt Leah that lives down here, they had both went to a psychic a couple times, and they had actually said that my mom was in water. And then I think one of them might have mentioned a park. I can't exactly remember how that went about, but I know they went and looked at a park like my family did, like around the Knoxville Zoo, Chahowie Park area or whatever, and they didn't find that. Which anywhere we looked, we didn't find nothing. Anywhere we went to hand out flyers, some people would be like, "Oh yeah, we've seen her before," and other people were just like, "No, we don't know her." Like, it's like she never existed. Like, I don't know. It's mind blowing. But I mean, I think I'm gonna do a whole series because I can't do this all in one time. This is a lot. I'm not even ready. I read the first few pages and it just made my stomach turn because, like, I'll just show you. Like, my Aunt Rachel was at, like, okay, so my Aunt Rachel texted her, Tim sent money to get the key made for the car. Is that okay? Did you ever get any information on Brenda's checks or Will's IDs? I will wait on the key until I hear from you. And then the investigator texts back, as far as checks, that is being checked on. What is your address? Our crime lab lieutenant has questions in reference to your garage. They wanted to move the car into my Aunt Rachel's garage. Why not take it to the lab and get it tested for fingerprints instead of waiting 4 months to come back and get it? But then my Aunt Rachel, like, it goes on for a couple days, and then my Aunt Rachel will text, do you have an update? No update. This is about the car where she's wanting to put the damn car in my Aunt Rachel's garage. You guys got a crime lab. Take it to it. And then my Aunt Rachel tells her, like, someone sent me the information on Facebook, but I Googled 3 found dead in California with Knoxville license plates, and a lot of reports about it come up. Says the bodies were decomposing. And then she says, okay, I'll forward it to my partner. Never finds any information on it. My Aunt Rachel found the information before the damn investigator did. Then how about say the wrong word? Then the investigator goes on vacation. My Aunt Rachel texts, hey Shirley, I hope you have a nice vacation and all is well. Could you give me an update? Hello, Rachel. Thank you. A teletype was sent to California, and we have not received a response yet. And then my Aunt Rachel says, oh, I wasn't meaning an update on the bodies in Cali. That was announced it was 3 males, and they were not from Knoxville. I meant on her car. And then no response. So my Aunt Rachel texts back again, any updates? And then the investigator says, hey, Rachel, I'm out in the field working on a case right now. When I get to the office, I'll give you a call, but so far, I have no new updates. And then my Aunt Rachel texts again. Any new updates? Every time she says that, there was no new updates. Because they wasn't looking. We figured out more information than they did. And they're the damn investigators. But I'm going to do a whole series. I'll go through all this with y'all. Because maybe one of y'all can pinpoint something that y'all see that maybe we're missing. Because that's the whole reason I have my Aunt Rachel give me all this, because I want to investigate it myself. Like, I can't just, I'm tired of sitting here. I'm tired of not doing nothing. Instead of just sitting here hopeless and wishing she would come back or wishing we'd get some answers. And then every time something pops up on the news about a body being found, it's like you want it to be her, but at the same time, you really don't, because you want her to be alive, but you want closure. You want it to be over with. And that's where I'm at. Like, I need it done and over with, or I need to vent and just get it out and find a way to get them to do something, to get off their asses and do something, regardless if she's an addict or not. And then I want to do that for all the addicts that are missing, that aren't being looked for all around the United States. Be an advocate. Because it's sad and it's ridiculous. And the way people look at addicts, it's disgusting. It disgusts me. It really does. They should not judge none of them, nobody, because they don't know what they've been through. It's just sickening. It's stomach turning. But I'm glad that y'all are on here. Like I said, I'll do a series on these and post them on my YouTube and TikTok. And thank y'all for watching and being here and supporting me and letting me vent to y'all and just helping get my mom's story out. But yeah, I will make a video if I get any updates. Or like I said, I'll make the videos on these. And if anybody can find any type of private investigator, y'all can message me on Facebook. Y'all can message me on TikTok. You have their names. Whose names? Are you talking about the people missing or the investigator? Yeah, so my mom's, keep us posted to know this. Thank you, Stephanie. So my mom's name is Bonnie Drain. And then there's William Inkelbarger. Oh, let me show you because it's a weird last name. And then there's Brenda K. Carroll. There's not a picture of her, but she had like very blonde hair, and she drew her eyebrows on with like thick black liner. But it's Brenda K. Carroll. And like I said, there's other podcasts that had done a story on this. I think it was called The Vanished. And then there's also the Appalachian Missing Trio or something like that. If you type that in, it would pop up. But I really appreciate y'all sitting here and talking to me. It makes me feel a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel a lot better. So I will definitely make more videos and keep y'all updated. No, they said that they were male, but they haven't identified them yet. So for me, I still hold out hope because, like I said, if you don't know it's male, it could end up being him, and then boom, that's gonna link to my mom's case. So that's why I was trying to, because a lot of people kept saying, "Oh, it's male. Oh, it's male. Oh, it's male." But that's why I wanted to explain the story, because it's not just her. Like, I don't think Brenda's with them wherever they are, like missing, but I think there is a possibility that he probably could have been. But like I said, thank y'all for being here. I really do appreciate it, and y'all made me feel a lot better. And I would definitely make more videos about this case, and I'm going to go through all this, this stack of papers, and any type of evidence that I find in here, I'm going to share with y'all. I'm going to share the whole stack with y'all, because maybe y'all see something that I won't. Thank you, Nancy. Thank all of y'all. Y'all have a good night.